Rising the importance of the tertiary sector in the terms of production. Tertiary sector has emerged as the largest producing sector in India. It has replaced the primary sector in terms of GDP, gross domestic production. What are the reasons behind that? Just look at it. It provides basic services to the people which is required in our daily life. For example, hospitals. Hospitals are providing you the services. They are not selling you anything. Police station, they are providing you the services. Transports, Ola, Uber, and the goods by trucks. And the banks, the most important part. Nowadays, आप सारा transaction करते हैं online वगैरह, debit card, credit card, all things. This is the part of the tertiary sector, service sector. The development of agriculture and industry leads to the development of services, such as transport, trade-like activities are very much important nowadays. All primary activities required service activities, tertiary activities. Income level rises nowadays. You can see certain sections of the people start demanding more and more services like eating outside. होटल में खाना खाना मोस्टली 15 to 20 days में, या होम डिलीवरी मंगा लेते हैं आप लोग. दैट्स देयर. टूरिज्म, शॉपिंग, ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग, and many much things are there. Over the past decade, certain new services such as those based on the information and technology, IT is famous word, information and technology became more and more essential in our daily life. You can see out, check करिए अपने आसपास, ये चीजें आपके लिए part of the life हो चुकी हैं. Service sector we are talking about. Where are the most people employed? Earlier also we have told you about that. Data in 1973-74 and 2013-2014. There is a significant change in the tertiary sector where people are employed. Just you can look at there. This is the chart where we can see this one. I am talking about this one. This is the tertiary sector chart. 100% populations के according अगर हम example लेके चलते हैं तो mostly persons are working in the service sector. They are interested in doing their jobs in the service sector. The share of primary sector in GDP of the country was 74% in the year 1972 and 73, which has become down to 49% in the year 11 and 12, 2011 and 2012. Primary sector के अंदर shifting कम होती जा रही है and tertiary sectors के अंदर ज़्यादा होती जा रही है. In today's age, the share of tertiary sector has been increased to a great extent and the share of primary sector has been reduced. Just we have discussed in the chart also. Yet, the greatest number of the people, around half of the population is still engaged in the primary sector, agriculture sector we are talking about. It simply shows the discussed unemployment in the primary sector. What is discussed unemployment? In the previous chapter we have also discussed. Let me explain you again. It's a situation where more people are engaged than required. Let's take an example. In a farmhouse, in a farm, there are 9 people are working, but only 6 people are ready to work. It means 6 लोगों के लिए sufficient है. 3 are working extra. उनकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है. They are coming and going out from the field will not affect the agriculture production at all. This is the example of discussed unemployment. If we turn out those people, it doesn't affect the productivity of that field. So this is the example of discussed unemployment. Another is the seasonal unemployment. A farmer is producing mango. He worked for a particular time period. जब mangoes का time होगा तब उसमें काम करेगा. Rest of the year he is unemployment. Particular season में he will get employment. This is the another example of seasonal unemployment. When people are unemployed for a particular season, it is a seasonal unemployment. Example is also given. A farmer are plugging land only for mango season. Then he become unemployed for rest of the seasons. How to create more and more employment for the country? Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Act 2005. This is the another program that gives the more employment schemes to our Indian brothers and sisters, भाई बहनों के लिए, especially our Indians के लिए. Under नरेगा, आपने सुना होगा नरेगा स्कीम के बारे में, कहीं पे वर्ड आया होगा नरेगा. Just remember, if you study newspaper, you find the word नरेगा. Under नरेगा 2005, all those who are able to and are in need of work in rural areas, गांव के लिए, we are talking about in rural areas of our country, has guaranteed 100 days of work, 100 दिनों का रोजगार, employment in a year by the government. It has been fixed by the government. If the government fails its duty to provide the employment under नरेगा, it will get unemployment allowance. हिंदी में बोले तो बेरोजगारी भत्ता देना पड़ेगा सरकार को उन वर्कर्स के लिए. If it was started to set up to right to work as a fundamental right, as a part of the directive principles of the state. The main features of the scheme of Narega Yojana 2005 Mahatma Gandhi Narega Yojana are as follows. The scheme guarantee 100 days, remember the word, 100 days of ways of employment in a year, particular year, for every rural household in 625 districts all over the country, all over the India I am talking about. This act is also called right to work, because if the government fails its duty to provide employment, it will provide unemployment allowance to the people who are registered under that. Various ways to provide employment opportunities in rural areas. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा employment opportunities government को provide करनी है, especially in the rural areas, so that the primary sector again increase हो सके हमारा and everything will be fair. By opening more school and colleges in that area, by opening more hospitals in that areas, by providing more and more agriculture facilities, irrigation facilities I am talking about, cheap agriculture credit, सस्ते रेट पे उनको ब्याज पे उधार मिल सके. Dams, canals to be constructed will lead to the more employment generation. उनके construction में भी employment चाहिए, and because of that irrigation facilities अच्छी हो जाएंगी country के अंदर, उस area के अंदर, again लोगों को क्या मिलेगा due to the agriculture employment. These all are interconnected. Just think about it. Various ways to create more employment in agriculture sector. Now particular section. रूरल से हम लोग किसमें आ गए हैं, एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर के अंदर और डिफेंस के अंदर. सीड्स, बीज एंड फर्टिलाइजर्स कुड बी सब्सिडाइज. सब्सिडाइज मतलब एट लो रेट्स, सस्ते रेट पे लोगों को इजीली अवेलेबल हो सके. लोन्स कुड बी गिवन टू फार्मर्स टू बाय एग्रीकल्चर इक्विपमेंट्स. इजीली लोन फॉर्मेलिटीज होनी चाहिए. एज वी नो कि जो विलेजर्स होते हैं दे आर लिटिल बिट ऑफ अनएजुकेटेड, ये बैंक्स की फॉर्मेलिटीज उनके लिए थोड़ी बहुत टफ होती हैं. तो इजी प्रोसेस, द प्रोसेस ऑफ लोन शुड बी इजी बाय द बैंक्स, by the government banks, so that they can be get easily loans. Dams can be built to irrigate that areas so that good amount of water can be used for the agriculture purposes, and good transport facilities could be increased. Now we are talking about the division of sectors as organized and unorganized. नाम से कुछ भी एहसास हो रहा है आपको, what is organized and what is unorganized? Just think about it. Organized, all things in a systematic way, सब कुछ set as per the rules and regulations. Unorganized, कुछ भी fixed नहीं है, depends on the person to person. आपके साथ अलग, B के साथ अलग, C के साथ अलग. Now let's me discuss organized sectors. Those enterprises or places of work where the terms of employment are regular and therefore people are assured work. They are registered by the government. कोई भी बंदा जाएगा, सबके लिए rules regulations same है. Suppose we go to the bank for taking interest, house interest, loan. We are talking about the loan. I go to the bank for getting loan. Interest rate is fixed for me, for my brother also, for my sister also, and for you also, because they are organized. Rules and regulations are same for everyone, for me and for you also. But in terms of unorganized sectors, small and scattered units, fell units, which are largely outside the control of the government does not have any control on them. Jobs here are low paid and often not regular. Sometimes we go to sahukar, jamidars to take loan. They charge different interest rate to different persons. मेरे से अलग चार्ज किया, आपसे अलग चार्ज करेंगे, उससे अलग चार्ज करेंगे. उनके यहाँ पे कोई भी फिक्सेशंस नहीं है. Nothing is fixed over there. Person to person vary करते हैं rules and regulation, terms and condition. I am talking about unorganized sectors, and in terms of organized sectors, each and everything is fair with clear transparency. सब कुछ सबके साथ. How to protect the workers under unorganized sectors? Organized sector में तो सब कुछ clear है, सब कुछ fixed है. Need not to think about that. Each and everything has clear transparency. Now, workers, laborers, mostly uneducated persons, how to protect them? How to protect their interest? जमींदार से लोन लेके ब्याज में फंस गए. Have you heard the news? Many news, such type of news comes in the newspaper and TVs. Just look at here. In rural areas, farmers can be supported through adequate facilities for timely delivery of seeds, good delivery of seeds, agriculture inputs, credit, storage, etc. In urban areas, the small scale industries can be protected by the government support for procuring raw material and marketing of output, so that persons, whether they belongs to the rural area or urban area, should not be caught in the hands of the unorganized sector. They should directly contact to the organized sectors for their requirements, and in terms of this condition, if government provide them the facilities, they will not be caught by the unorganized sector. वो बिल्कुल safe रहेंगे government sectors के हिसाब से. Now, sectors in terms of ownership. There are two sectors of ownerships. One is public sector and one is private sector. I am talking about the public sector here. Public sector is owned and controlled by the government, where government possesses most of its assets and all the services are provided by the government. Best example is Indian Army. Still many parts of Indian Railway is also a part of the public sector. Government का होता है. आपके अंदर भी आपके एरियाज के अंदर बहुत सारे गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स होंगे, डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटीज होंगी आपके सिटीज के अंदर. दिस आर ऑल द पार्ट्स ऑफ द पब्लिक सेक्टर. नाउ private sector. In this sector, ownership of assets and delivery of services lie in the hands of individuals or private companies. For example, Tata Company, ITC, these are the examples of the private sector where they provide their own things. Doordarshan is the example of public sector. DD, private sector. Sony TV, Sub TV, GTV, these are the examples of the private sector. Let us discuss more about this in the further. This is the difference between the private sector and the public sector. Let us start with you. The main aim of the public sector is public welfare, समाज की सेवा करना. Whereas private sector, the main aim is to earn maximum amount of profit, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पैसा कमाना, because they are not concerned with the public welfare. Another, it is controlled and managed by the government. Public sector किसके अंडर में आती है? गवर्नमेंट के अंदर में आती है. Whereas private sector are managed and controlled by the individual groups. Tata, Reliance and many other things. Necessary facilities are provided by the government in the public sector, whereas all the facilities provided by the individual or groups are in the hands of the individuals, private sector. In government sector, employment is secured. आपकी नौकरी सुरक्षित है. You are safe there. But in terms of private sector, employment is not secured. आपकी नौकरी कभी भी जा सकती है. You can be fired anytime at any place. It's not as secured. Fixed wages and important facilities are provided from time to time and with the passage of time in the terms of public sector, mediclaim, house rent allowance and other things. Whereas with no fixed wages nor other important facilities are provided in terms of the private sectors. And the last, the sector provides basic facilities like education, health, food, security to the people. For example, BSNL. You must be having a SIM of BSNL या लैंडलाइन होगा BSNL का आपके पास. It's a famous word BSNL. Post offices, नाम सुना है ना, डाकघर, and so on. Whereas in terms of the private sector we are talking about, the sector provides consumer goods to the people. For example, Tisco, Reliance, and so on. Read out this carefully and learn them by heart. All the best.